What's going on, Sports Wars? It's Jeremy. Because Ryan is too much of a bitch, he can't talk. He's basically a beta. I'm having to carry all of the weight right now.
I can talk. Listen. I shouldered the weight of Sports Wars for months at a time. Sometimes in Jeremy's absence, he can handle a few streams.
I can handle a few streams. Yeah, we are here. We're live. Ryan powering through I don't know what he's got. I don't know if he knows what he's got, but it doesn't matter. It's not stopping him. He's still making videos when he can. And we're here for Monday Evening Quarterback. And it's going to be a fairly quick show. We're going to run through some of our topics. If you guys have questions, feel free to let us know in the chat. But Ryan, outside of feeling like shit, how are you?
I'm doing all right. It's annoying not being able to speak. That like my voice is like this because I drank more tea than I've drank in my entire life combined in the last 24 hours. I've just been down in every type of medicine I can get. It's not COVID. It's just shockingly enough. The flu is still a thing. I know no one on the mainstream media likes to talk about it. The sports media doesn't like to talk about it, but actually people can still get regular shit, especially during the winter. But I feel better. Just my voice is fucking trash.
We got as usual, Sports Wars peeps, letting everybody know what's going on. And that was pretty funny. And I think this one's even better. That one's really good right there. So
what does that even mean?
I think that's saying, oh, like shit. That's what it's saying.
And I think listening back to myself in videos, I think I sound worse to myself like in my own ears than I do like on here. My voice just sounds kind of a little deeper and a little raspy. You
sounded really bad yesterday morning.
Yeah.
And you sounded terrible for the Sports Wars live stream. Today you're okay. It's not too bad, but the more you talk, the worse it is. But other than that, we're here and we are going to talk about the weekend that was in the NFL, a weekend that saw me lose in the fantasy football playoffs to a woman.
You done. You listen, Jeremy talked a big game during the regular season, and he had a solid team that performed really well. But it's all about injuries and being able to adjust in fantasy football. And your injuries came at a really bad time.
They came at a bad time, but I have no one to blame but myself. So Tugs beat the fuck out of me yesterday. And really it was some bad personnel decisions that I made, ultimately. Now, I could chalk it up to the fact that I just didn't. I actually had 2 tight ends yesterday. Why? Why did I do that? It was a bad decision because I didn't tighten things up. But ultimately, Tugs beat me 153 to 100 or 144 to 100. She still got, somebody. Who she got? She's got the Dolphins game. So my problem is I kept Kittle and Gronkowski in. My Patriots defense lost me a point, which has been killing it for me. But the biggest thing that I did is, and I was considering doing this, I was heavily considering taking Patterson out and putting Mixon in, and taking Renfro out and putting Higgins in. Higgins got 45 points yesterday.
Yep.
And Mixon got 31 points. And they're on my fucking bench.
It would have been
frustrating.
Now, would that have? I don't know if it would have won it, but it made it close, right? Because she still has someone tonight.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. That would have won me the game.
Yeah, that's about the difference, right? No, it's about the difference because Cordero Patterson,
he only got
like
points.
10 points, so you get 20 extra points with Mixon, and then how many did Renfro get?
13.
Yeah, so then you're looking at 30 extra points, so that's 50. So it'd still be close.
It'd still be close. That's true. Yeah, it would be close.
So now you just gotta hope that whoever she has tonight goes off, so you don't feel bad about your matchup.
100%. But either way, I was thrown for a loop with my injuries, but that definitely was a segue to go right into the Cincinnati Bengals game, because My goodness. Joe Burrow went off 500 and I want to say 25 yards passing. One of the highest recorded, what was it, top 3, top 5? I can't remember what it was. Regular season passing yards. I can't remember. It's up there.
Yeah, there's only so many guys who've gone over 500 before. We might see it, once a year, once every 2 years, something like that. But Joe Burrow goes big in a blowout game, and I think that was the interesting thing for me. And he's on my bench. He might be my starting quarterback next week. We'll see. But Joe Burrow is kind of putting his stamp on the AFC North. That was the biggest part of this. This is a huge game. The Ravens are now 8-7. The Bengals take complete control of the AFC North with the Browns losing and the Steelers losing. And this guy who got injured last year's rookie season certainly looks like he's going to be the real deal in the NFL. And I love the attitude he has as well. I don't know if you saw this post-game press conference at all, Jeremy.
I did. There was somebody uploaded this clip and it's got it had 130,000 views in just 2 hours. So all they did is that's what you're talking about with Burrow? With Joe
Maybe.
Burrow? Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the Ravens coaches kind of not really dissed him, but did kind of say, hey, it's a little early. Let's pump the brakes on Joe Burrow. The exact quote was Martindale was asked about playing Burrow and a tough stretch the team has been in. We're going down the wrong street because Devontae Adams, he's one of the top 2 receivers in the league, and he's not number 2. And Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Fame quarterback. And I don't think we're ready to buy a gold jacket for Joe Burrow yet. So not really a diss, but
it's just Burrow, keeping things in perspective.
But Joe Burrow, as a lot of great athletes do and great competitors, he decided to internalize that for a little motivation. Listen to this.
Did that mean anything to you at all? Did it resonate with you at all?
Basically asked if it meant anything to him, before it resonated with him at all.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think it was a necessary comment. I wouldn't say I was offended by it. I'm in year 2. Who knows what's going to happen down the road, but I didn't think it was a necessary comment. Was it on your mind when you were throwing at the end for 525? Maybe.
I like it. Joe Burrow has got an attitude, and I think it's a good attitude. Obviously, I'm Alabama fan, so I experienced Joe Burrow's ridiculously unbelievable season at LSU, and he was nasty, dude, and you could tell he had some arrogance to him, but I mean that in a good way. To be a great athlete, you have to have a level of arrogance. You just absolutely do. Michael Jordan's one of the most arrogant human beings we've ever seen. Kobe Bryant had a huge amount of arrogance. That's just part of it. You have to have that. You can't not have that when you're going into a locker room full of other men and trying to lead them and set a tone. So I like Joe Burrow. I like the attitude he brings to the equation. And I think Cincinnati's got the real deal. I really do.
Yeah, and they got some great weapons at wide receiver that'll be around for a little while. Joe Mixon, obviously, has been one of the top 5 running backs in the league this year. Well, when he's healthy, and he can be utilized a couple different ways. So I like Cincinnati, and I like them to win the division because I don't think it really matters. To be honest, I don't really think it matters who's the quarterback for the Ravens. They had Joe Johnson in this game as opposed to Lamar Jackson, but we've seen, people like Huntley come in and play just as effectively as Lamar at times. So, they're still obviously with 7 teams making the playoffs this year. There's a lot of room, all over in the AFC, but I really like what the Bengals are doing. And I like the attitude of Joe Burrow.
Yeah, 100%. So, they've got a really good team. He's got some great weapons around him. He was on your bench yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of good things, and I think Joe Burrow's the real deal. That dude is legit. Pee Wee Pierre, Ryan, on a scale of 1 to Jack Murphy, how are you? Wouldn't that be like
know what
Jack
that
Murphy
means?
to wouldn't it be Jack Murphy to 10? Yeah, Jack Murphy to 10 is how it should have went, I think. But we get what you're saying.
I feel pretty shitty, but I'm not sit home and pretend I'm cool with my girl fucking another dude on Tinder. I'm not to that level. So
we got Bert. Heard in the Bears locker room at halftime yesterday, our lifelong fan Ryan Kennel is deathly sick. Let's go out and win one for the Kennel. Is that true, Ryan? Is that a true story?
I believe that's false. I think all that happened was big dick Nick Foles finally got a start. And for some reason, that dude, there's just something about Nick Foles. I don't know what it is. You don't want him as your quarterback all season. You just want him to randomly come in and win you a few games. Like that's the strategy with Nick Foles.
It is. You don't want him as your regular quarterback, but there's just something about him. I mean,
yeah, there's nothing special about that dude.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. If he looked like Jimmy G, he'd probably be a megastar, though. It's just the truth. And the media hyped up Jimmy G just because he had the looks of the next superstar quarterback. Jimmy G sucks. He's not as bad. He's not as bad as I think he is. I claim he is. But
well, it actually looks like Jimmy G's going to miss the last couple of games because he tore with UCL or something in his thumb.
Yeah. Mike Hill, the Dallas defense helped me out big time, and now I should play for the championship next week. Yeah, Cowboys, they killed it, man, and that's a segue into our next topic, and that's the Dallas Cowboys and the Washington football team. I can't believe we're still calling them the Washington football team this many years later, but here we are. And I'm not sure that they're ever going to change it. Like,
I think that there's like a committee to decide a new name, but like there is something simple and memeable about the Washington football team. And I feel like people are almost used to it now. I think as much as I'm sure any Washington Redskins fan, I'll tell you, they wish they were still the Redskins. At this point, they've been the football team for a few years, and it's funny almost at this point in a sad way. Yeah. And anything they do different will suck. Like no one will accept it.
Yeah,
you know, there's not going to be anyone that if you call them the Guardians or the Senators or like whatever you think you want to call them, no one's going to buy that.
Yeah. But as far as the game yesterday, Dallas destroyed them. It was I didn't watch the game, but I was paying attention to it because Tuggs decided to sit Tom Brady, which right decision, and start Dak Prescott. Prescott went off, had a ridiculous game. The game was over in the half. I mean, it was insane. It was like a college game. That's how bad it was.
Well, and we've been kind of slow playing the Cowboys all year long. You know, because I just think that they have a lot of weaknesses and inconsistencies, but they're sitting now number 2 seed in the NFC, and we're 2 weeks away from the end of the season. Yeah. So you got to give them credit at some point, even though I just don't have this faith in Dak Prescott. I do have faith in that defense. I think that defense is really fucking good. But I just think that Dak's a little too inconsistent at times, and that run game is not sorted. Zeke, even though he's had his moments this year, doesn't look to be the dominant player he has been in the past. But you can't deny the results. And Mike McCarthy this year has gotten results.
That's true. I don't have faith in Dallas to do any real damage in the playoffs. I think they're going to run into superior teams. And I just wouldn't put stock into them. Obviously, Cowboy Nation's going to, pretend that they're going to win it all, and they're going to be the most dominant team, and they're going to have insane expectations, especially coming off of this game. But I just can't put any stock into them. I think they're a one and done potentially in the playoffs, depending on the matchup, but I have no faith in them moving forward at all.
Did you see this? Do you see this sideline scuffle for
I heard about it.
Football team?
I heard about it, but I didn't.
Jonathan Allen and Darren Payne, former Alabama and current Washington football team. Look at this here. Gave him a little got in his face a little bit and kind of was like blaming him and pointing and did touch him there. He did not like that. He threw a punch.
Yeah.
So whenever you're fighting on the sidelines with your own team, probably not a good thing.
Not good. Not a good sign, but go ahead.
But if someone sticks their finger in your face and literally is touching your face, you better watch the fuck out, regardless if they're on your team or not.
Yeah. I mean, typically I don't make a lot of these situations. I mean, I know the media blows them up. It's not a good thing when there's an actual punch being thrown. When there's confrontations, in those arguments. I tend to think that that's men being men, passion. You're worked up. It's a very competitive environment. I remember back when Alabama played Notre Dame, and there was a altercation between AJ McCarron and one of the offensive linemen of the team, and that's why Alabama was top tier. Those guys are part of a winning culture, obviously from Alabama, not so much Washington. Although Washington hasn't been that terrible, not the worst thing in the league, but yeah, I don't make a whole lot of that. Punches thrown, that's probably a step too far. But men are going to be men. Confrontations happen. It's part of it. So I don't think too far into that at all. But yeah, don't
passions running high in a very physical game.
Yeah, I agree though. Don't touch my face. do not touch my face. Absolutely not. The other game that I'm excited to talk about, so I can roast John Bartolo, is the fact that since he appeared on Sports Wars and made his big time statements, Patriots haven't won a game. How you looking now, John? Belichick's not a genius anymore, is he? He's not the greatest team. Where you at, Dave Portnoy? All that shit you were talking. Patriots are back. Oh, it's going to be Tom Brady versus Belichick at Super Bowl. None of that shit's happening. It ain't happening, okay? Again, the Patriots are fine. They're a decent team, and there's a lot of decent teams in the NFL, all right? But the Patriots are not back. The Patriot fan base seems to think that because Tom Brady was the most dominant player in the history of the NFL, that translated to the Patriots being the most dominant team in the history of the NFL, most dominant dynasty of all time. That does not translate to you're going to be great post Tom Brady. You're just not. Again, I think they're a good team. I think Mac Jones is a good quarterback that's in a good position, and I think they can build upon that. But pump the brakes on thinking that the Patriots are back. They are not back, and Belichick still has a losing record when Tom Brady is not his quarterback. That is just the bottom line. So
John was asking if you wanted to take the bet. You got 2 extra games spotted there.
I already told him I would take the bet.
Oh, yeah. He was asking him on Twitter.
Oh, no, that's just John spinning shit, okay? He's just trying to spin things because right now it's obvious that I was right. I said the Patriots, if you looked when they won all those games, it was a really weak run that they had. There were a bunch of bad teams that they played. And again, I like Belichick. I love Belichick. I love the Patriots, okay? I respect everything they've done, and they have an incredible culture there. But reality is reality. Tom Brady is the reason that team is the greatest football team that we've ever seen. That's it. Bledsoe went 19. Brady would have went 19, if it wasn't for Asante Samuel's dumbass. I will never get over that. David Tyree got Asante Samuel out of a lot of hot water, all right? Even though David Tyree's the reason they won, people forget that Asante Samuel dropped an interception that would have sealed that game, a wide open interception.
An easy one.
Yeah.
I did like somebody mentioned in chat, the reporter. I don't know if I have that. I think I sent it to you.
Which one?
That reporter that randomly was like, "What's your New Year's resolution?"
Oh God, that was so good. Didn't Portnoy retweet that? You can go to Portnoy's Twitter and find it right now.
I think he probably has tweeted so much that it's easier to go back. Yeah, found it in our messages.
Okay. Yeah, that was so good. That was so good. But yeah, let me see. This is so good. It's
like no one's talking.
Hi, football aside, sorry, but I'm doing a story about New Year's resolutions, and I was just wondering if you had any you wanted to share with your fans and our readers.
Yeah, no, not right now.
What are you doing there? Like, why? What is she doing there?
That's representation, man. One more time. We got to hear one more time.
Like,
no, just got the awkward silence starting it out is the best part of it. So you got to play the whole.
Hi, football football aside, sorry, but I'm doing a story about New Year's resolutions, and I was just wondering if you had any you wanted to share with your fans and our readers.
Yeah, no, not right now.
Okay.
This dude's been in the league 47 straight years. That might have been the dumbest question he's ever been asked based on his response. But
oh God. So I know you guys, a lot of you are saying the volume's a little low. That's as much as we can do on a Twitter video. I don't think there's a YouTube. There is a YouTube video of that. Let me see if I can find that and I'll play it for everybody. And I see you, Lar. Thank you, Lar, for the 20 as always. Really do appreciate that. Lar is awesome. Let's see. New Year's resolution. Let's see here. Here it is. All right. I don't know how loud it's going to be.
no, not right now.
All right. This is a different angle, but you can at least hear it a lot better. So let's see. Different angle for sure. All right. Here we go.
Hi. Football aside, sorry, but I'm doing a story about New Year's resolutions, and I was just wondering if you had any you wanted to share with your fans and our readers.
Yeah, no, not right now.
Okay, thanks.
Why would you ask that question? Oh,
What a fucking idiot.
What an idiot. Oh my God, man. Like, why? Why would you do that? Holy
Jesus.
crap. That was thank you, Lar, 1996. Appreciate you as always. Thank you so much for that. But yeah, what is your impression of this whole New England thing? Like, where do you think? Do you think that they
I don't think they're gonna challenge, Kansas City, as the best team in the AFC, but I think they're with the rest of the AFC. I think that if the Bills and the Patriots play, that probably 6 times out of 10 the Bills are going to beat them. But I don't think the gap's that big between them. And Patriots were in that thing to the very end. The other time they played, I don't really count that because that was the wind and that was all game plan, which I got to give credit to Bill Belichick and and obviously McDermott was not able to adjust, and they just kept throwing the ball over and over and over again with the Bills in that game. But when you look at the AFC, and I'm about to pull up the standings right now, when you look at the AFC, other than the Chiefs, when you look at the Titans, the still banged up Titans, when you look at the Bengals, the Bills, the Colts, the Patriots, the Ravens, Chargers on down, I just think they're right in that with the rest of them. They're the second tier in the AFC. I think that Mac Jones is a really good rookie, but he's not ready to carry a team in the same way that Brady wasn't ready to carry a team for a while. But in these big games, we got to start seeing consistently Mac Jones come up big. Now, I think we saw that with the Tampa Bay game. We saw it in person that Mac Jones has got the guts to do it. But it needs to be a consistent thing.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I think, again, as a Bama fan, I didn't have a lot of faith in Mac Jones coming out of college and being a starting NFL quarterback. But then Belichick picked him. And again, and to qualify that, it's not that just Belichick picked him. It's the fact that Nick Saban and Belichick are tight. So that means that Saban signed off on Belichick picking him in the first round. And obviously that's about as high of a compliment as you can give any quarterback coming out of college and into the pros, is that Belichick and Saban both are signing off on him to potentially be the next Brady. So, yeah, I mean, I think that New England has a decent, future ahead of them, but the expectations have to be put in check. And the expectations can't be the next dynasty. The expectations can't be that they're going to dominate the AFC for the next 15 years necessarily. It's just not going to happen. They're not going to win 4 or 6 Super Bowls over the next decade. They're just not going to do it. And so will they compete potentially here or there? Yes. And that should be the expectations. So yeah, that's where I'm at on that. We had a super chat. Man, where is it at? Piano Dean. Hey guys, big fan. Thoughts and or predictions on Ian Book tonight? Is he starting tonight, right? So for the Saints,
that's going to be interesting. I don't know. Listen, I don't know anything about him. I know he played college at Notre Dame.
He was solid at Notre Dame in terms of like his stats and stuff. I don't pay attention to Notre Dame. I don't like Notre Dame. I don't respect Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame's garbage, but they have produced some really good players over the years. But I can't say I know enough about his college
quarterbacks.
Career. So well, not typically, but they do have the greatest or one of the greatest of all time, but that was a long time ago. So
yeah, I don't know if I'd rank Jimmy Clausen and Brady Quinn up there, but I watched a little Notre Dame. I don't know what's going to happen. I do know that regardless of whoever has been back there over the past 5 years, regardless if it's one of the greatest of all time, like Breeze, or whether it's even Jameis Winston or Teddy Bridgewater, or whoever the guy that used to play for the Broncos that got hurt. Like Sean Payton just has success there. He's a great offensive mind. I think that's pretty proven. So I think he's probably going to do better than people think, but you're still going to be limited with what you can do with him on a short time frame like this. So Trevor Siemian. I think Trevor Siemian.
Yeah. I mean, Sean Payton has proven himself to be a legitimate great head coach, at least offensively for sure. He just is. I mean, the dude is legit. The Saints, basically what the Saints need to do is play the Buccaneers every week. If they could do that, they'd be in good shape because they clearly have Brady's number. But yeah, I think where are the Saints at right now? Where are they at in the standings? So
they're basically done at this point. I mean, they're hanging on. They're hanging in the picture, and a lot of people are like that now because of that extra spot. It's really making an impact in a big way.
Let me look up Ian Book's. His college numbers are actually really good. He finished with a 147 rating, 72 touchdowns, 20 interceptions. He finished 9th in the Heisman voting in 2020. He was drafted 4th round, 133 overall by the Saints.
Notre Dame. I have no respect for Notre Dame.
No, I don't either. I don't either.
Either.
Yeah, I definitely don't either. But numbers are good. So second year, 19 TD, 7 interceptions. Second year, as a junior, 34 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Those are fantastic numbers. Last year, 15 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Finished his college career with right at 9,000 yards and a 64% completion percentage. So those are solid numbers. And so I don't know if he's a pro style though. I don't know a lot about what type of quarterback he is. Is he a pro style quarterback? So
I wouldn't say like prototypical pro style, but it's not like they're sitting there running fucking completely running gun spread. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that look, again, it's all about like the NFL. There's things that are going to determine your success. So especially as a young quarterback, and you couldn't ask for like Patrick Mahomes. And I think Patrick Mahomes is incredibly talented. There's no doubt about that. But the reason that he has been able to do what he has done is because he's been with Andy Reid on a stacked team. That is a perfect environment for him to go into. That's not to say Andy Reid could have done what he's done with any other quarterback necessarily. He has maximized the incredible talent of Patrick Mahomes, but that veteran leadership of that head coach has been monumental for Patrick Mahomes. I'm not saying Ian Book's going to do that, but if you're looking for a good situation, it's definitely with Sean Payton. If he's a pro-style quarterback, it could be pretty good for him. So
Sean Payton has shown the ability to be able to adjust to whatever his quarterback strengths are.
Yep.
That's just the bottom line.
That's true.
And so I think he will have success. And even this year, as banged up as they've been, as average as their quarterback play has been, or the quarterback talent, they're sitting at 500, so there's something to be said for that.
Absolutely. Let me see. We need a sports war stream for college football playoff. Roll Tide. Maybe if you guys want it, we might can work that out. Of course, we got Friday Night Tights, so that's the problem. That takes up a huge chunk of the Sports Wars staff here of 2 people. I am looking forward to that. This next topic I wanted to talk about is Matt Nagy, your boy. What's going to happen there? He's been on the
So-
hot seat all year long.
He's been on the hot seat all year long, and they've managed to win a game with a third string quarterback, Nick Foles, who's all the quarterbacks are the fucking same there.
Big Dick Nick.
You got Andy Dalton, Nick Foles, and Justin Fields. The fuck? Like, why wouldn't you trade one of these idiots? But anyway, Matt Nagy, there's no way he can stay. There's just no way. And today he put out the information that he's of the belief that he'll be allowed to coach the last 2 games. That's how confident he is in his future, that he has to make an announcement saying, I believe I'm going to be able to coach the next 2 games. Ooh. And to me, that tells me they've already had discussions with him internally. The Bears, they've one of the oldest franchises in history. They have never, ever fired a coach mid-season, and I don't think they want to. So, yeah, Matt Nagy cannot stay around. The real question will be, does Ryan Pace stay there or not, the GM? I want Ryan Pace gone as well. I don't think there's any sense in keeping him around and giving him another few years when he's already established he can't build a team. So
I have the answer for Chicago. It's very simple. Okay. John Gruden.
Oh yeah, I thought you were gonna say Tim Tebow.
Well, John Gruden, and then he brings Tim Tebow in. So that way he takes all the negativity. You know, it's like, well, Tim's praying for us, and no, but John Gruden. There you go. Bring Gruden in. That's it right there. That would be beautiful. It won't happen. It won't happen. But I'm just saying
it couldn't happen this year, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'd like that a lot better than what they have now. That's for sure. Especially seeing how the Raiders have fallen off since he left.
Do you think Justin Fields is the guy? Because I don't.
No, I said this when they drafted him, and I was like, it's cool to like have optimism and be like, oh, look at this young, talented guy. But I just don't feel it. And I think that anytime you draft a quarterback with the intention of changing him, it's not going to work. So if Justin Fields played for the Ravens, I bet that Harbaugh would have him be way more successful than he would be for the Bears, because they're trying to change him. And we've seen it over and over again. That just doesn't fucking work. It's very hard to undo 22 years worth of training. Look at Tim Tebow. Try to get this motherfucker to have a release that wasn't 3 seconds long. It just never was able to take effect.
Why? We don't have time for this argument. Your voice is fucked. Don't do that. You've brought Tebow up twice now.
Well, twice. I brought him up once. So it made me think of it.
No, once. Now you brought it up a second time. You're testing me, and then when you're sick, you gotta have the whole chat on your side. Like, Jeremy Ryan's sick. Don't stop. Don't bring Tebow up again. I'm trying not to argue with you.
I'm just
trying
saying,
to save your voice.
It's very tough to change the way a quarterback plays to that extreme. And when you've never got a guy who's really taken snaps under center, and all of a sudden you try to make him a pro style guy, it fucking doesn't work.
Yeah. No, you're right. I agree. We got right there for Ryan's Batman voice.
I'm vengeance.
Did you watch the trailer yet?
I did a reaction on my other channel. Yeah.
What did you think? I didn't watch your video.
I really liked it. I really liked it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how cool I am with the idea of like Riddler knowing who he is.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like the vibe of this movie. I think it's probably going to come out and we're going to have a lot of problems with it, but I like the way it's been marketed and promoted.
Yeah. So far, so good. So Ryan has a reaction on RK Outpost Live. Is that where it's at? Okay. And then I have one on Geeks and Gamers. So if you guys want to see our full reactions to that, please go check those out. Okay. So what's going on with your Cardinals? And I say your Cardinals because Kyler Murray's kind of your fantasy guy. So what the hell's going on with them?
They've lost 3 straight. I think that the loss of DeAndre Hopkins has been huge for them. Because I think that, DeAndre Hopkins is, one of the top 5 wide receivers in the league. I think probably everybody would agree with that. But he's the guy that you can put on an island out there and throw him the ball with confidence. And what he does to a defense is he makes a lot of the focus have to go to him. Whether you're going to put your number 1 lockdown corner on him and then shade a safety over top, things like that. when you don't have that threat, you're left with, for the Cardinals, a bunch of above average wide receivers like Christian Kirk, and an aging AJ Green, Rondale Moore, who's not super experienced and isn't like a pure wide receiver. And then you have an aging Zach Ertz at tight end. You do have some good back play, you know, when Connor's healthy, and forget their running backs, that Clyde Edwards-Hilaire's at the Kansas City guy.
I can't remember. I never thought Kyler Murray was going to be this successful in the NFL because of his size. He's so damn small, but he's so damn fast. But, you know, we're starting to see, like, if all the pieces aren't there, you know what I mean? It doesn't open things up for him. And I think, and again, there's only a few games, so it's not fair to ignore all the other success that he's had. But what we're starting to see from him is what I expected to see from him as an NFL quarterback. And that's where the true test comes in, because we've seen it time and time and time again. We see these quarterbacks that, you know, come into a situation, they're mobile, you know, there's not a lot of game film on them. They've got the right pieces in place. But the moment that those pieces aren't there for whatever reason, injuries, trades, contracts, whatever, everything changes and falls apart. You know, you're not, to have a Peyton Manning, to have a Tom Brady, to have an Aaron Rodgers, to have these quarterbacks that stay top tier no matter who's on the team, no matter who is there, no matter whatever the circumstances, is so rare. And I feel like the first time we get a go back to RG3 when he, you know, had his season in Washington, you know what I mean? The hype was just astronomical for him. And then, of course, I know he went through some injuries and everything like that. I never believed in RG3, but you saw how quickly that fell apart. Look at Cam Newton, you know, when he had his, you know, his first two games, he threw over 400 yards, and first two games he ever played in, over 400 yards. He eventually had his MVP season. We had Ron Jaworski saying that Cam Newton was going to be the greatest football player to ever live. What? Look at the Colin Kaepernick hype, you know, or no, I think it was Jaws said that about Caps, what he said.
Kaepernick, yes.
But he said something similar about Cam Newton, because look, Cam Newton, his physical abilities are unbelievable. Like, the guy's built, and he can throw the football, he can scramble and everything like that. But we see these short-term things. I'm not saying Kyler Murray is necessarily going to be that, but the Kyler Murray we're seeing now is the Kyler Murray I expected to see in the NFL, the one we've seen the last few weeks. So
I also think that I've watched a lot of every Cardinals game because Kyler Murray is my fantasy quarterback, and they have to be one of the most penalized teams in the league. They have a lot of mistakes, and I don't know if that's Kingsbury's kind of experience as a head coach and the lack of discipline, maybe, but they shoot themselves in the foot so often. A lot of holding calls, a lot of procedural calls and stuff like that. So that's been a huge impact, I think, and has really reared its head in these past few games when it's been close. And it's especially for a team like the Colts, when they get ahead, you know, that's their game, you know, and they kept Jonathan Taylor pretty well locked up for the most part compared to what this dude has done the rest of the season. But, you know, it still came up short.
Yeah. And you got Joseph here. Thank you for the super chat. Hopkins made Watson and Murray look better. And that happens a lot. I mean, I didn't expect Watson to rape everybody. But I thought he was going to be really good coming out of college. You know, I had high hopes for Deshaun, and then, you know, he hide your kids, hide your wife, I guess, you know, because he's having some fun apparently. So even though the media doesn't want to talk about that, and then we got the Matrix and Road Show. Kyler Murray is a bit overrated to me. He's not bad, but he ain't that guy.
Well, see, I thought he was going to be shit. I thought he was going to be a bust out of college. I really did, especially after that interview with Dan Patrick. I don't know if you remember that one, Jeremy, where he was basically like super uninterested.
Oh yeah.
And like that, to me, I was like, fuck this guy. I just never thought he was going to be anything. So
yeah,
last year, what he did, I was really surprised by. And you know, the way he started off this year, the first 6 to 7 games, they were just out of the boom, out of the stocks. They were flying. And I was like, Kyler Murray could be an MVP this year. And obviously the injury bug hits them. And when everything's not right, it looks like they are struggling. So it might just be, he needs a little, that team in general needs a little more time. But I still do think they're on the rise in general.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they respond, because that's really the true test of a championship team. I mean, you go back to when Brady took over New England. They had they first year they won the Super Bowl. The second year they didn't make the playoffs. And people like me at the time, who was very anti Tom Brady because he beat Alabama in college, and I was like, "Fuck him! Hell yeah, he's finally getting what he deserves." And I'll never forget that. I said Bledsoe. I said Belichick is going to regret getting rid of Bledsoe. Yeah, I said that. But that's that Tom Brady derangement syndrome. I suffer from it, like a lot of you do to this day. I was there. I'm a recovering Tom Brady derangement syndrome victim. But yeah, so a lot of people didn't. They were like, it was a fluke. Well, champions, they rise to the occasion, and so that's part of it. Peyton Manning had a terrible rookie season. Terrible. Go look at his stats. I think he threw like 30 interceptions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he had the record for rookie interceptions.
Mm-hmm. And so
like 26 or something like that.
Yeah, it was awful. And so time will tell. We'll see how it all turns out. I think that it was just mentioned in the chat. You got Herbert and you got Joe Burrow, I think, are two of the future superstars of the league. I think those are the guys that we're going to be talking about, among other people. Obviously, there's a few more names you can throw in there, but those two guys, I think, have the potential to kind of be the next level for the NFL.
Herbert had a rough game. The Chargers did not look good this week.
Yeah.
I think it surprised a lot of people. It surprised me too, but they've had a couple hiccups like that throughout this year. But I like Justin Herbert in general. And when these guys when these guys get weapons around them, an offensive minded coach, they can do all right. What a big difference Joe Burrow has had. Even his rookie season, he looked better than what's his nuts in Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence. They just don't have fucking anybody there.
Yeah.
Luckily, they have another first overall pick to.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure you can hold Trevor Lawrence though accountable for Jacksonville.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying there's nothing around him.
Right.
Like they don't have any weapons.
As a matter of
Marvin
fact,
Jones, an old fucking Marvin Jones, who was like the third option on like a Detroit Lions team 10 years ago. That's their number one wide receiver?
Yeah, I mean Jacksonville's like they're. I'm trying to look it up now. Do we know? I don't want to tell people about it. I'm sure most people have seen this. This just reminds me. Is this it right here? Yeah. Oh God, freaking! I forget. Sports Wars has ads on it.
I know.
So God, it's so fucking annoying. Hang on. Okay, here we go. Now, does anybody know about? I'm sure you've seen it, Ryan. This is an Urban Meyer interview. I know you've seen it, Ryan. I'm pretty sure I showed it.
I don't know which one you're talking about.
This one right here.
Oh yeah. Unmute it.
To be about the right thing. So, it's not your time as a coach or player to really give an opinion about something as serious as pandemic and medical causation. I'm hearing those words, litigation, future issues. So you just got to trust that the people care and love you and go about your business and train as hard as you can. If there's a season, there is. If not, and you're a senior and get ready for the NFL, you got to do that too. So, we live under the world of E plus R equals O. That means you can't control events in your life. You can control how you respond. Respond positively and move forward.
Is he waiting to take a piss?
What?
Give us what that next step is. I know you talk a ton about the response. You talk a ton about the psychology of
cocaine is a hell of a drug.
I love it, dude.
What would be as a coach?
God,
so embarrassing, dude. Oh man,
it wasn't a girl from a Cincinnati bar.
I heard that. But I mean, ultimately, That's why Trevor. I'm not a big believer in Trevor Lawrence personally. Like, I'm not saying he's bad. I'm not a big believer in Trevor Lawrence, but I don't think that we can judge him. And I'm not saying you were, but I'm just saying I don't think we can judge him on anything in Jacksonville until next year, and then we'll start to at least see if he can do anything. Thank you for becoming a member of the channel, Grotto Rabbit. Appreciate that. And thank you guys for the support. We've had a nice turnout today, so we really do appreciate that.
A Money Wilson over on Streamlabs for $3 says, "Duh, Bears, Big
Duh,
Dick
Bears.
Nick, fire Pace, fire Nagy, and get well soon, Froggy. I mean Ryan." Thank you, A Money Wilson.
Yeah, and the other thing, last topic we're going to talk about is college football. So there's a lot going on right now. I know El Presidente has been tweeting out about it. He retweeted someone talking about the COVID protocol for college football, and it is insane right now.
Well, and one of the reasons that, you know, Dave Portnoy is talking about it is because there obviously Barstool has a Barstool has a bowl game, right? Barstool has a bowl game this year, and one of the teams, I forget who it was, has to pull out because too many people have COVID. We saw Miami now had to pull out of a bowl game because too many people have COVID, just over and over again. And it's insane. And I wanted to read you something that a Miami wide receiver wrote on their page. And like, listen, these are guys who have, you know, blood, sweat, and tears they put into this stuff, and their games are getting canceled for nonsense. Looks like this may have gotten deleted. Interesting. I still have it though. Just imagine 3 years ago when someone had a cold or sneezed, we looked past it, allowed them to walk into our homes and hug them. Skip ahead 3 years, and now people have been turning away family for an imaginary virus that they can't see, hear, or smell because the TV said to. I wonder what else people were around 3+ years ago without knowing about it, because we weren't being tested like lab rats every time someone sneezed. Eat healthy, exercise, have good hygiene habits, and turn off the TV. When it's your time to go, it's your time to go. So these are athletes who have worked for this stuff for years, and it's getting canceled because they, at the peak of their physical prime, the lowest risk margin for any type of anything to do with COVID, their games are getting canceled. The last game of their college career is getting canceled in a lot of cases.
It's insane. I mean, you know, and these are things that can impact the literal rest of your life. I don't think Tom Brady is an NFL quarterback if he doesn't play his last game in college. I don't think he is. You know what I mean? He had a great college career, but it flew under the radar. But he had such a great final game in the Orange Bowl against Alabama, and he was drafted in the 6th round, barely. You know what I mean? And look at that, how that has changed his life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These are life-changing, life-altering decisions that are happening right now. And this is bullshit. And I think people are sick of it. People are waking up to it. You've got LeBron James calling it out now. Now, you notice how the media didn't want to cover that when LeBron talked about it. They'll talk about anything else that LeBron wants to talk about. You know, his imaginary police are killing every black person in the street narrative. They'll talk about it when LeBron brings that bullshit up. They'll talk about it when LeBron creates a fake hate crime. They'll herald him as this great human being that builds schools and does all these wonderful humanitarian things. But the moment LeBron puts out something that goes against the narrative, suddenly they don't talk about it. Wake the fuck up, people. And this is right here from Dave Portnoy. The Boise State, I didn't know Boise State was in the game. So Boise State has pulled out of the Arizona Bowl due to too many players contracting COVID. We're actively looking for a replacement. And again, you're starting to see it. And again, Dave is a different animal because Dave has been calling out this whole thing from the beginning. You know what I mean? Most people, though, they're not going to start calling it out until it affects them. You know what I mean? So like LeBron, for instance, LeBron is just an idiot. He's a dumbass. The fact that LeBron put that out on Instagram the other day means nothing to me outside of the fact that it shows that people are waking up to it. LeBron's still a bitch. And the only reason LeBron's mentioning it is because it's affecting him in some capacity It's not that he saw how big of a problem was. Dave's been seeing how big the problem was for a long time, but now it's affecting him directly once again. And so, I mean, there's nobody that's been more helpful to small business owners in this country than Dave Portnoy. You know what I mean? So he's gone out of his way, but this is ridiculous, man. And I'm sick and tired of it. And most normal thinking people are sick and tired of it at this point. We all were supportive of it with the 2 weeks to slow the spread. You know, we all did our whatever we needed to do bullshit, even though we all were probably rolling our eyes. We're like, 2 weeks. It's beyond ridiculous. And again,
it's been almost like 700 days now.
Yeah. And again, we have to say this just because, shockingly enough, the guys surrounded by Star Wars and video games are not doctors. Shockingly enough.
I just forgot my stethoscope.
So yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the thing that's going on in college football right now, it's unforgivable. It's ridiculous, but it's not just to college football. It's affecting everything. It's affecting, NBA players, NFL players. It's just ridiculous. So that's where we are. I guess we're going to continue to see how this all plays out, but we cannot let the mainstream media continue to push out this propaganda and this nonsense and these fear tactics. That's what they're doing right now. And finally, at least it looks like a lot of people are finally waking up to it. So, Ryan, before you die, are you going to record any more videos? Do you have anything on any of your channels going on?
I have a video set to go out about what's her name? Who played Aunt May? Marissa Tomei. Marissa Tomei, who played. She wanted Aunt May to
be bisexual,
be gay.
Be gay.
I'm gonna say be gay because it's a catchier headline. But she wanted her to be with a chick in Spider-Man. So I got a video bitching about that. I'm gonna put out in a little bit.
All right. What a dumb. These people are idiots. Thank you, Mandy, for the super chat. Appreciate that.
What kind of money is that? What is that?
I'm not sure. I'm not even sure. Anybody know where that's from?
That's from like
Mandy,
ancient Egypt.
Yeah. Where is that from? Where are you watching from? I'm curious where everyone's watching from. I used to do that on Geeks and Gamers. Tell me where you're watching from. Where is that from? Pee Wee Pierre. The canceling is to please the woke. It's their way. Yeah, of course that's what it is. It's 100% what it is. Is it crypto? Huh? Is it? It can't be.
It can't be crypto like that. It's TD said Germany.
It's Mississippi. No, I think that's what he's saying he's from. I think he's saying he's from Mississippi. We got some Mississippi people up in here. Indiana, Germany. See, I don't know if they're telling us from Germany or that's where they're from.
That's where TD's from.
Okay. Baltimore, Crime Zone, USA. Brooklyn, unfortunately. I hope Urban Meyer goes to the Chicago Bears. You looking forward to that one, Ryan?
That ain't happening.
Let's see. Mandy again. I think Zach Wilson is going to be the next Josh Allen. Mandy, we are fascinated to know where you're from. Just don't dox yourself, I guess. But just be general. Where is that currency from?
I mean, Zach Wilson has some skills. There's no doubt. He's one I'd put in that category of like, guys who there's really that team's trash. You know what I mean? Whereas Justin Herbert got to go to a team that was stacked as far as offensive talent wise, and the Bengals, they get Joe Burrow, and although that team wasn't stacked offensively, I wouldn't say they've quickly been able to put some pieces around him that are really fucking good. They had Joe Mixon, obviously, but
I do agree that Josh Allen runs way too much. I think he's gonna pay for it at some point. He does. He runs a lot. But that's gonna wrap it up here. We're in about an hour, and we want to keep the show around an hour and a half every week. Robert's here. We tend to get into some more topics because Robert's just an unbelievable knowledge that this man has about everything. So I'm sure he'll be back next week. But other than that, I will be doing a premium stream for geeksgamers.com members tonight. Mario Golf. It's on. It's going to be fun. And me and the guys will continue our competition. Jay will be there. Johnny will be there. So we'll do it up. And I don't know if Lyndon's going to be there or not. We'll see. Oh, it's Israel.
There it is.
Okay. All right. Right on. Thank you, Gerald. How are you, Gerald? Thank you, Boomer Sooner. Ryan is dying.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you guys want to send
a good run,
if you guys want to send any more super chats before he leaves, just in memory of him, I have no problem with that. So,
and a good run.
Yeah, we should have advertised your death sooner. Probably would have got at least a few more super chats. But it's all good. But anyway, so I'll see you guys tonight, and then obviously be live tomorrow for Tuesday night's main event over on the main Geeks and Gamers channel. Janet C says, hey, missed most of the show. I'll catch the replay. Yeah, the link will still be here. Are you going to leave this public?
I leave all the money and quarterbacks public.
So, okay. All right, so this will be public. So you guys can watch the replay. Other than that, I'm going to get out of here so Ryan can finish dying. I don't want to keep torturing him too much, but it's his fault for bringing up Tebow twice. But I cut him some slack tonight. So
appreciate it.
All right, guys, thank you so much. Smash the melee button. We appreciate your support. Subscribe to the channel, and we will talk to you later. Bye, everyone.
Bye.